Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
On the couch with us to talk cruises. We figured we'll do a Chatting with the Masters all about cruising, and who knows more about cruises?
The answer is nobody.
Than our buddy.
Well, maybe
Nobody.
Deb. Maybe Deb. Maybe Deb.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Deb. Maybe we should just talk to Deb. Actually.
Wow.
All right. Well, thanks for coming out.
Okay.
Tony Palmiotti is here.
Hey, thanks for inviting me, guys.
Well, more than anything, I mean, let's just call it what it is. Tony has done as much or more for our small business of T&D Media, a mediocre time with Tom and Dan, a corporate time with Tom and Dan.
Dan,
and I'm
you're
just
15 years.
I'm just going to straight up tell you, I love you so much, and I appreciate you so much, and you and Deb have been I don't even know, like cornerstone members and helpers of what we've attempted to do, and we appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Since
It's always, I only do things if I enjoy it. So.
Well, we appreciate that, man.
I remember like 15 years ago, Tony's like, "Hey, I'll help out with anything. Just let me know." I'm like, "Can you Photoshop our faces on bananas?" And then I knew he got the goods. and then it's just been a bunch of crazy requests for 15 years.
It was always
The pins and
embarrassing. It was always a little embarrassing because I don't look at Tony as being as much of a goofus as we are. But we have kind of made him that because we have forced him to do so many dumb things for us.
Hey, Tony, can you make me crazy Christmas sweaters a week before Christmas?
I like your impression of me.
Very nerdy.
Yeah. What did I tell
That
you?
is how you sound. Like,
Hey, can you give me some crazy
I like Daniel's better, where I'm like overconfident Kenny Powers. I'm stupid.
I feel like Tony's is more accurate, though. Mine
I think
is,
you're afraid to ask me because you know the
he's
answer.
afraid of everyone.
Anyway, so Tony, let's talk cruises.
Sure.
So of course you own ahoycruises.com, and anybody that's looking for a cruise should book through Tony because he does a great job. And if you have any sort of questions about cruising, Tony knows because as of now, Tony,
Does he have a running count?
I do.
How many cruises have you been on?
Okay, we've been on 132 of them so
All
far.
right, 132 cruises. So it's funny because now we have an inside company joke that anytime we're looking for Tony, so he's definitely on a cruise.
Definitely on a cruise, yeah.
Because how many cruises did you go on? What's the most cruises you've been on in 1 year?
Oh, close to, I'd say 2 a month, so 24.
Wow,
That's a lot of cruises.
24.
More recently than past years, you know.
Yeah. Well, you've opened up your business a little bit
Yeah,
more, right? Like
yeah.
you're like
Really,
seems-
really because of you guys. I mean, the whole Tom and Dan cruise thing really escalated the business for me, and I do appreciate all of that you guys done for me.
Well, you say that, but you do a great job with, giving people great deals and the customer service and putting groups together. And that's what Tony specializes in. And, of course, we got our Tom and Dan Cruise 2024 happening next September. If you want the information, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Indeed.
Just go to tomanddancruise2024.com. But let's go back to the beginning, Tony. What got you into the cruise business even to start
Or do
with?
you remember your first cruise that you went on?
Well, I do, and I kind of spoiled myself because it happened to be a Disney cruise, the first cruise we went on.
All right.
Nice.
So out of the gate, but
So, I'm dedicating my life to putting together cruises crappier than this one.
My first cruise was a Disney cruise.
I'm going to make this affordable for every slob. You'll see.
well, the funny thing is we
What year was that, by the way?
Oh, geez, I don't even know. I don't even know. It wasn't as long as you think. I think I was 40 something before we started to even cruise.
Oh, okay. So this
Really?
was in the 50s.
It was different. You can still smoke in the Bordeaux dining room.
That's right. You had to bring coal on to get on the ship. Anyway, yeah. So basically, Debbie hates to fly.
Okay.
all right.
I can
So-
identify with
so-
that.
so
Like,
this
not the
is-
biggest fan myself.
So this was a way of going to pretty much the Caribbean and some exotic places.
This is
without,
the way to see the same
You know.
3 destinations for the rest of your life.
without getting in a plane. So
Do you like little trinkets sold by
I
Bahamians?
like being pestered by island folk.
Right, yeah.
You like gray hot dogs?
I do.
An endless pizza
do.
buffet. So after, like, when did you decide, like, hey, I'm gonna start, like, you know, the Hoy cruises?
Yeah,
and,
but
like,
how did you get to the point where
Okay.
you're like, I think I can make money on this, or I think I
Okay.
can help people doing this?
Yeah, so my younger son Joey was graduating high school, and he came up to us, and he's a good kid. He came up to us and he said, "Hey, a bunch of friends and I want to go to Cancun."
Okay.
You know, and they just turned it's like 18, right? High school, right?
Yeah. This
And,
was a
like-
big thing, but by the
It
way,
was.
I don't know if it still
Right.
happens.
I
but,
never
like,
got a chance to go.
In the 90s and late 90s, everybody who graduated turned 18
No,
went to
everybody
Cancun.
who had money. I did not have
Well,
money.
I didn't know anybody that did that.
Yeah,
No.
I didn't go to Cancun. The rich kids went to Cancun.
Well, I knew poor people that went because the plane ticket was
poor
like $69.
Miami is different. We didn't get
that's
that.
right.
You know, we don't get,
Like-
you know, we were committing fraud all the time.
Yeah, so basically, Debbie and I looked at each other and said, "Oh, you know, it's not. I don't know. The kids are young. You really don't have any experience. Go to Cancun with a bunch of friends."
And by the way, Cancun is a hellhole.
That's
what I'm saying.
It's not a rich paradise.
No.
It's a place. It's like
yeah, but on MTV it looks awesome.
And all
like,
you want to do
everything
is
is cheap at
Yeah.
there. It's
Yeah.
like
you
like
just want to go there and commit crimes.
like Panama City is more expensive than Cancun. It's like
Oh,
just
yeah.
getting to Cancun.
Miami's
is the most,
way more expensive than
Oh,
Cancun.
know.
yeah. So we weren't thrilled about that. So we came up with the idea: is how about what we did? We sat down with him, and he's a logical kid. And we said, well, you know, you got to pay for airfare, you got to pay for drinks, you got to pay for food, you know, where you stay in the hotel and all that. And he started adding everything up.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, we don't really want you to go to Cancun, so you'll use your own money. And I said, but if you want, your mother and I can take you and 11 more friends, and we'll go on a cruise, and I'll pay for your room, whatever friend you want to bring.
to Cancun.
Right? No, to the Bahamas. Take
okay.
him on like a 3-night cruise, so he wouldn't have to pay anything. All you can eat. You know, the kids can drink at 18 at that time.
So, like, hey, we don't want you to go to Cancun because we know what happens. If you do want to go, spend your own money. There's one option. Or the other option is Daddy and Mommy are going to pay for this other option and a guest,
Right.
and you can go on that.
You're right.
Right.
And it's a controlled
That's pretty
environment.
good.
You know, like you go to Cancun, next thing you know, like first you'll get robbed if you wander off, and they'll for sure jump
Happened to
you.
a
and-
very famous plumber's son. He ended
Yeah,
up
yeah.
at a
but you know,
a
but
dumpster.
there's there's more sketchy things that could happen than on a controlled cruise.
Yeah,
right?
we felt it was control. We felt even if they wanted to stay out till 2 or 3 in the morning, it wouldn't really matter much. So
And you know what? I forgot that at 18 you could drink on cruises in the past.
in the past,
Yeah, like
And
when
gamble.
did that stop?
You could use the casino.
yeah,
too.
yeah. Well, I think at 18 you can still use a casino now. You just can't. Is that Tony?
I still think it's 21, but if you
think
sit
they
down at a
changed it
slot,
all.
if you sit down at a slot machine, they're not gonna. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But 18, when did they make that? Because I was.
I think it's got to be in late 90s or
Yeah, I
something.
think
Okay.
it was because I remember the first cruise I went on at the age of 12. There were younger people. The buzz was that you could drink, and it was always
yeah.
international waters seemed to mean more. It was like
Yes,
in
you're right.
international waters, you can do whatever you want.
And I'll tell you,
There's no governing body. And
I'll tell you
"What?"
something funny. It's funny when kids have to buy their own drinks and it's their own money.
Yeah.
They tend to walk around with a Bud Light for like 4 hours.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Well, especially cruise, but
I ain't drinking no Bud Light.
But you're right. It's like they get exposed to what alcohol actually costs. And,
Right.
it ain't cheap.
Oh, the markup's crazy.
So,
Yeah.
and then by doing that, then you learn how to put together groups.
Well, by doing that, then we went on a few more, and then people started asking us about them, knowing that we've done this, like the parents of those kids and all that.
Okay.
And it got to a point where we said, well, how hard is it to sell these things? Because we could probably make a couple of bucks on the side. And we looked into it, and there was one particular company that we liked, and the nice thing about that company at the time is they didn't charge us anything. You could just sign up. They give you a percentage of the commission.
Okay.
And then you could just sell at your own pace. Like
That's
you don't
how
have
the original Beachbody used
Right,
to be.
you don't
And
have
when I got them into the Diamond Club, they started effing my B.
right. So you don't have any investment to make, but yet if you go on your own and you start to do good, you could go on your own.
So Tony, let's describe like the cruise business as a whole, because it's my understanding that essentially like the cruise companies themselves don't book the rooms, that they use like other companies that book the rooms for them. Like apparently, like they just.
So wait, there are companies that book the boat. The boat owner of the company does not book the boat. Is that what you're saying?
I thought, and Tony can correct me if I'm wrong, that basically they just use third-party companies.
Did he just whisper, "I can't"?
No, I swear to God,
wasn't me. I swear to God, I heard him go. Because you said, Tony will correct me if I'm wrong, and I swear to God, I heard a little voice go, "I can't do that."
What is he talking about?
So how does it work, Tony?
Okay.
Because I was gonna go into this whole long.
But I heard him.
No, there's big companies that actually book out giant blocks of rooms, and they book them out as soon as they're available, maybe for 2026 now.
Okay.
And they negotiate the prices on them in our favor. So I can book into several of these companies that book out big blocks of rooms and get significant discounts over what the cruise line sells online or you call in.
Okay.
So
it's kind of like the StubHub or whatever, like
Right.
Ticketmaster.
It's like
model.
a brokerage, basic. Yeah.
So like these big companies, they'll book like all of a sudden they release a ship. They're like, this ship is sailing in 2026 and we're open for business. And then this huge company will come and be like, I'll book 1,000 rooms if you give me this rate.
Right.
And they prepay that.
And they prepay, and it's money in the pocket for the cruise line. They know they got these cabins. They know they're going to sell them.
And then that company will then, I guess, try to book rooms through other small partners like Ahoy Cruises and other, and then
I didn't know
based
it-
on their discount. And there's
I
still
didn't know it
margin.
trickled down from the top like that, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
an
not
interesting model.
Ticket brokerage does
Yeah.
too, like where it's like they book the, and that's why like some people are like, well, why is it? But this is actually beneficial to the customer because they get the deal, and then rather than booking it straight through the cruise company, which you can, right? I guess.
Well, you can, and a lot of people do, and I just shake my head and it's very sad when I see that because sometimes it's ridiculous amounts of money they pay for something that I can get them for literally thousands less. So.
And with added drink packages and things like
Right,
that. That's
right.
why, that's
Incentives
why we
built
started
in,
doing
yeah.
the Tom and Dan cruise, which we'll get to about when you book the Tom and Dan cruise, you get the unlimited drink package and the free Wi-Fi.
Sure.
And that's because Tony has done the cruise business deals and got this early and then he secured the deal.
Yeah, I don't think I've opened any group with any cruise line that has the available drink package without it.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just, it's a no-brainer. Even if you're not a big drinker and you're a coffee drinker, a specialty coffee, or, even
Soda.
bottled water,
Yeah.
soda, and stuff like that stuff adds up quick on these ships.
And then this is included in the thing, so
Right.
it's something you're paying extra for it, which
No.
you can, they'll charge you for it on the ship, and
For
you
some
try to buy it, it'll
reason-
be $500.
Yeah, and for some reason, too, beers on a cruise ship, they can't stay cold. You know what I mean? Like you hand me
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm
It's an
like, I
aluminum
take a
can.
sip, and I'm like, already warm. But the sun's hotter, everything's hotter.
So as you start like booking for other people, and then you also go on these cruises with
Go to
groups.
check them out so he can give you the scoop.
Yeah, when did you start doing that?
Anytime we have a group that's more than about 50 or 60 people, we feel a little more comfortable going on the ship with them, just to make sure, if they have specific events on there or spaces they need, or just time, like we had a Red Hat group, they are.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
ladies.
yeah.
My mom was one of the Red
Really?
Hat
Yeah.
ladies. Yeah.
So it was, a bunch of older ladies that are very nice and very funny, but they drink a lot.
Yeah,
So
they do.
Debbie said, you know what? There's 80 of them. You better go on that one because.
Oh my God, Tony, you're having to service all these old ladies.
Oh.
Oh my God, he's going room to room. He's like, Deb, I'm exhausted. I'm eating it. I've been eating so much. Oh God, and I'm not talking about Guy Fieri burgers.
So now you have to actually like going on cruises,
No,
or
you
this
don't.
job would be miserable.
I do so much stuff that I hate what I'm doing right now.
So what is let's talk about going on so many cruises.
Okay.
Because you have to start developing a routine.
Have you ever gone with no suitcase? I've always wondered that. Have you ever just been
yeah.
tempted to go? I have. There's something very empowering about like I'm walking on the cruise ship and it's like this is all I got.
Hey, and then you just buy your clothes at the
No,
gift shop.
I just or wash them, send them out.
Okay.
Go to my room, get naked, send them out.
I
Have
guess
them bring them back.
You only need board shorts and a Tommy Bahama shirt, right? Like you need anything else.
The funny
Sandals?
thing is, a Caribbean cruise, you probably need more clothes because you get sweaty more often.
That's true. You do
We did an 11-night up a New England and Canada cruise a couple of months ago. We just took our carry-ons on the plane and a backpack, and we were fine for 11 nights.
Wow.
Because you just don't need that many. Your clothes don't get all messed up, and
You're right.
yeah. So
What's your number one? Just to kind of zero back to what Tom was saying. What's your number one cruise mistake you see people make from all cruising novices?
booking too soon to sail. In other words, they're booking last minute.
I thought there's a certain remember there's a thing
No
where
more.
oh, you show up at the port
more.
With
and
your
they-
bag, and then they're like, "We got one space,
$15.
Pull it up."
That's not a thing anymore.
Post 9/11, all of that changed. So,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That long ago.
Damn
huh?
terrorists.
Yeah, yeah. So no, yeah.
So what, Tony? What are the options because just from doing the Tom and Dan cruise for so many years with you, I've talked to the cruise business and we discussed options, and you've told us and it seems like there's out of Tampa and Port Canaveral and then Miami. But for Central Florida, you're either going out of Tampa or Port Canaveral. And then out of those two stops, then you have it seems to me 3 or 4 different options. You're going to Cancun, maybe the Cayman Islands, that side,
Louisiana?
or I guess there's Mississippi. They do a stop up there, but out of the Canaveral, you're the Bahamas, then if you want a week, then you go maybe all the way
Western and Eastern.
Yeah,
Bahamas.
you're hitting the islands all the way.
You can go to Panama Canal. You can go Southern Caribbean, beautiful islands, ABC Islands.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of places. It's
What's your favorite hidden gem that people don't normally get to cruise to?
There's a place called Bonaire. That's a small island, Southern Caribbean. That has, and you guys,
I was just looking at you two nobody's going to take this.
I know.
We're a different show now.
I know.
We're a different
How
show
dare
now.
you say
Yeah,
that?
you know what?
You
You're
guys
fired.
started laughing.
I have to fire you now.
Every
This is
answer.
the second day in a row I've had to fire her. Every day I have to fire her.
Anyway, you guys,
Someone cut
you guys
out Tony
scuba
saying
though.
Bonner.
Yeah, but you guys scuba, so it is
I can
right,
scuba with a banana.
Bonaire.
right off the beach. Amazing scuba, right off the beach.
Right
Just
off the
walk in.
beach?
Right off the beach. You walk
Right
in.
off the beach, Bonaire.
Right off the beach. That's right.
There's a man right off the beach. He's got a banana.
That's right.
Yeah. So, obviously there's a ton of beautiful Caribbean islands.
Right.
But there are all some real garbage heaps. What's the worst Caribbean
Oh,
island?
that's easy. Everybody knows the answer here.
It's Nassau.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
That's
on the board.
that is we call NASA day at sea.
Yeah.
Oh, so dismissive and mean.
So Tony,
Oh my
what's
God.
Especially if you have the drink package.
Yeah, exactly.
So Tony, what's your routine when you get on these ships? Now I know you're working and
Right.
you're kind of in charge of the group and
Right.
making sure the group's having fun. But what do you do for fun? Because I know there's
I
been
don't
many
know
a
what
time
you really enjoy.
I know one thing, and and I'll see Tony on our crew sometimes when he's
Is it
when
eating it?
No, when he every once in a while I'll catch Tony sitting in the hot tub drinking Fireball whiskey in the morning.
Yeah, and you can tell he's relaxed. He's
8
good.
a.m.
He's dialed
That's
in.
our,
Yeah.
that's our tradition. Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about that because there's been some things, and then you can tell some tips and tricks from just going on so many cruises that you probably know. For one is, can you hide in your room during the muster drill?
That's a good question. I've been caught before.
Because I never want to go.
Have I told that story? I've been
Yeah,
caught
I-
before.
yeah.
Okay, so muster drills changed a lot in the last few years as well. So
Okay.
99.9% of the time you don't have to line up anymore and do any of that.
But you do have to go to an area.
Most of the time what you have to do is go in your room, watch a video or watch it on your phone. As soon as you're done with that video, go to your muster station. They check you in. They show you how to put a life vest on and you leave.
Yeah.
So it's a lot better than it used to be. I remember days like some cruisers just hanging out and the sun's beating down on you and you're in these lines on one of the open decks and it's horrible.
I
But-
will say that the ones that, as a young boy, going on many cruises, I can still remember the first muster drill I went to. They made you put it on. They're making you test your whistle. You're having to mash the light to make sure that works. They're coming
yeah,
around. They've
more
got
serious.
and they're literally Dennis family, 4 occupants, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you. And then you're standing there. That did make me feel safer than just drunkenly watching it and be like, you know how to put this on? All right, get the hell out of here, you rascal.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work out these days.
Yeah, it's a lot more different now, and you could make an argument that now we have more cruising, not accidents, but just little hubbubs, things on fire, things floating out of control, the guy waving to his girlfriend.
But no ship ever sinks, and you're jumping off into the propellers.
I mean, the guy that was waving at his girlfriend.
Oh, it's
That guy.
Concordia.
Yeah, the Concordia.
Yeah.
But that ran aground.
And then he was a pussy. He tried to escape. He got in a little boat. They were like, beat him dead with our shoes.
There was some people that died in that. But,
yeah.
But I'm talking about
They tried to beat him to death with their shoes.
the crack in half Titanic, people jumping off like that ain't happening.
Nah, you're in channels of water where there's a lot of ships.
Yeah, too much activity out there.
So, but what do you enjoy doing, Tony? Like when you're on, like besides from working, you have your off time. Like, what do you enjoy about cruises?
Okay, so first thing I do when I get on cruises. What's that? Yeah.
I like hard nipples and I like camel toe. Back to you, Tom.
We set up the computer in the room, get settled, and then
I watch porno the whole time.
no.
X videos.
You can do that here.
X hamster.
People forget about X and XX.
That's some quality videos. Got some good stuff from the 80s.
Yeah, Deb and I we like to hang out at the pool. We like to enjoy snorkeling on the excursions. We like to sometimes just walk around. The more steps we put in, we figure the better we are. We put about 14,000 a day on a ship. So,
nice.
So you're walking around.
We rather walk
it's
around
keeping you
than
active.
do
It's
elevators.
Keeping you fit.
Yeah. So
And then what do you? I'm sure you know all the tips and tricks to take advantage of, like when they offer like maybe the higher quality dining for free sometimes, or because there's
Tony's the one that told me
people don't
he's
take
like,
advantage of a lot of the
You
stuff.
were the one that told me and Andrea, and now it is a tradition. He's like, just go to the art gallery where they're doing the thing. It's free champagne. Don't buy anything. It's all garbage. Free champagne. So I go down there, and me and Andrea go in, and they're just handing me endless cups of champagne. Oh, this is amazing. Because you know all the little things.
yeah.
So do you go out to dinner at the restaurants?
You like a steakhouse, right?
Yeah, I like a steak. Sure. And different tiers. Like if you cruise a lot, you start to get into different tiers of where you get other things for free and everything. So now we're at a point where like most of the cruise lines we get like free laundry. So now that means we don't have to pack as much, say. And then they have cocktail hours for returning
it's
guests.
like
and
casinos.
things like that. Yeah, kind of they comp you on a bunch of different things.
Andrea has a lot of that because her and her mom and brother used to go on so many cruises. I mean, I know you've been on like 130 something. I believe my wife has been on close to 50 cruises, which is a lot for somebody not in a business.
Right.
But she's like platinum on this one and diamond on that one.
Yeah.
And
you get a lot of nice perks.
You do.
Yeah.
Like free food,
they want
baskets,
you back. They
wine,
want you back.
Chocolates.
Oh, they put so much stuff in our cabins when we go back. It's ridiculous. Slippers, robes,
That's awesome.
champagne.
It's nice to be pampered.
Fruit baskets, chocolate. We got on the MSC, we got a ship made of total solid chocolate.
Oh, that's dope.
Which is crazy.
Chocolate ship.
I want a chocolate
That thing
chip.
looked like the Titanic when I was there.
Yeah, I love it.
So Tony, like, how, like, when you're on these cruises, are there any times where you're like, I can't wait to get off? Because I guess, how miserable could you be in a cruise? Like, you're out.
Well, you are confined.
But
That's
you're out
a big one.
But you're on the ocean. These ships are so big. There's so many things to see and do that's like you're not, stuck in like some sort of miserable place. Like it's a fun atmosphere, and you're on the ocean, and you're going to like Caribbean. So it's like you can't be that miserable. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna.
No, I think the only thing sometimes that gets to me is if there's like a couple of days at sea near the end of the cruise. And then only because we're working all the time, and when we retire, we might not feel that way, but we feel like, damn, I need to get home and start to get to work.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, I think, yeah, you're right. I just chill.
Have you ever been cruising and seen famous people cruising at the same
good
time
question.
you're cruising?
Yeah.
Because you've been on so many cruises.
Who have you seen?
Yeah.
Oh.
Give me
Drop
the
some
scoop.
names.
Yeah.
I not only seen, I talked to.
Who you been hanging out in the hot tub with?
In the pool, Richard Branson.
Whoa,
Oh,
my God,
really?
that's a good
we
one.
we went on the Richard Branson's birthday bash on Virgin,
Okay.
and he was on there, and let's see,
You must be Tony Palmiotti.
and two of his astronauts there, and that thing were on there, and then Natalie Imbruglia. I don't know if you know who she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Former,
was.
Something's right, I'm torn.
yeah, Torn.
Right.
She sang the
And
song
I think
Torn.
she's a soap opera person in Australia. I think,
She
maybe.
is.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
also was married to Daniel Johns of Silverchair, lead singer of Silverchair.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, you see people like that, and then you meet what's her name? You know, the famous gymnast, the girl.
Which
The one with the weird smile?
No, the one that wins everything.
Simone?
Yeah, Simone.
You
Yeah,
met Simone Biles?
Yeah. We met her. We got an autograph book from her
God
on
damn,
one of the
Tony.
ships. Yeah.
She's
Hell yeah.
super famous sports star.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's really
She's
nice
the best
too.
of the best. They say that as far as gymnast goes, she can do things that other people cannot.
Yeah. So we get to, and then we go on so many, and then we sell a lot. I mean, we sell a ton of these things. So
On the cruise?
no, they like at home we sell so many cruises that they invite us to all the christenings and all the new, like all the short 2 and 3 night.
So is it a grand when
the
ship
comes yeah.
in,
To see to see the boat, so therefore you could
We'll
talk
see
about
the
'em.
boat and the christening ceremony and the naming ceremony, and they open everything up, and it's all the media, and they only pick a few agents. It's mainly all. Let's say we just did Celebrity 2 weeks ago, the Ascent. It's a new ship.
Yeah.
Celebrities like expensive ass cruises, right?
You know what?
Aren't they like
Not-
older and high dollar?
It's funny because
Are they changing?
they're not changing, but I'll give you an idea. Royal Caribbean owns Celebrity.
Okay.
Royal Caribbean is getting a little out of control with their pricing. They know the market. They have beautiful ships,
So
and
they're
they
pushing
know
the
they can
limit.
charge.
Yeah.
Right. So they're pushing the limit. But if you're a couple and you don't have kids, because kids love Royal Caribbean, there's a ton. It's just made for
Maisie
kids.
did really love any of the royal boats we were on.
Yeah.
She loved it.
Yeah. So when you compare Royal to Caribbean to Celebrity now, and you're just a couple, let's say, that wants to go, Celebrity is actually cheaper than Royal Caribbean. And Celebrity is a higher end cruise line. It's more pampering. It's better food. It's more lounges, more live music
More
at night.
intimate, I've heard.
More
like a sandals resort, less like a carnival kind of craziness.
So price, you don't always get what you pay for. No doubt.
So what is because there are a lot of cruise, like there's Viking cruise, that's all in Europe, right? Like that's
Well,
super
Viking
expensive.
has river cruises, which they're very big. They go up to different rivers, all different countries, Europe.
You been on one of those?
No,
Busdecker went on one of those.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
I
right.
talked to him at the beer fest about it.
He said he did reach a point of maximum
said it was too much.
older
Yeah.
person saturation where it was like,
Yeah.
I need to see somebody younger.
So you want me to tell you something about river cruises?
Please.
Okay, so look, I'm an old guy.
I hope you go crazy. You're like, everybody on the boat is gay. Like, what?
No, but like I'm an old
Boat
guy.
air.
I'm an old guy, but I still get around.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
the age on these river cruises is very high.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
older people.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
like elderly,
And a lot of them can't get around very well.
Oh,
So, and
a lot of
everything.
diapers. It stinks like a diaper in here.
Oh man.
No, that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm saying is, every stop on a river cruise is an excursion that's included in that river cruise.
Okay, all right.
So you
Free
actually,
diapers.
you physically have to get on buses to go to these excursions, and that would drive most people insane.
Oh, because it takes so long.
So long.
All
So
right.
we've had friends that did a river cruise, and we recommended, hey, just get a taxi wherever you stop. Don't get in a bus. Get a taxi.
Can't
and go
get
to
a
where you
taxi
have
if
to
you
go.
wear a diaper. They don't allow diapers in taxis. I'm not cleaning that up. Back
So
then.
but that's.
What do you think the coolest cruise that you've been on yourself?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because there's and most people
We
do
know the big
standard.
brands, right? We know the Carnival, the Royal Caribbean. You got MSC, which is the newer guy that I don't know that
new
much
kid,
about.
new kid on the block.
Yeah. Let's go over some of the cruise companies because I'm not familiar with all
Okay, so
of them.
let's start with what I think the most fun cruise is.
Okay.
Got to be Virgin Voyages.
Okay.
Okay, that's Sam's going to be doing one, right?
Yeah.
Coming up? Yeah, and that is just it's funny because I made a post on Facebook once and I said, hey, if you don't like the cruise, book this cruise. Because there's people that don't like cruising at all.
Oh, are they going to do that? We're the uncruise.
It's exactly right, but it's true.
Yeah.
Because
what's different about it?
and
No
floating-
sad dining time. Your room is everybody else's room. Sleep where you want. It's like, oh, we're free.
It's just the entertainment is more like off Broadway, like kind of really interesting.
Our singers don't sing for you. You sing for them. It's always, all the gimmicks. that
The
they do.
crew is encouraged to interact with the guests. It's just a much more
You
fun
want to
atmosphere.
raise a rigging? Be our guest.
Yeah.
I mean, all the food is all specialty dining is every single place, and it's all included. So it's like 3-4 star Michelin chefs, just like cooking like crazy. Like the
Wow.
food is amazing.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You'll never have better food on any cruise
Yeah.
ship than Virgin.
Do they have employees from weird countries that seem like they're slaves? 'Cause that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I
I
like.
like the
Nobody.
I like the anger of a good Caribbean.
Yeah,
slave.
I haven't seen anybody, and I've been on 7 Virgin voyages. I haven't seen anybody not happy.
Really?
Yeah, you know how
Yeah,
you
but
see.
it's all AI. He puts
no.
an AI mask on.
No, I mean they they're very open. Also, tattoos, piercings, and all
wow.
that. They don't have to cover anything.
Oh,
They
nice.
it's just kind of like
They're
it's
more real.
Yeah, it's nice.
Tony, what did you? Because I think our buddy Tony Moonjet made some money on this, and I'm mad that I missed out. But during COVID, when
Oh, yeah.
when all the cruises, there was like COVID cruises, and they were like they're not letting anybody out, and it was hard, and everybody got freaked.
I'm trapped on a boat. Help!
And then there was a time where the cruise stock plummeted, and then everybody's like, "There's no more cruise again. It'll never happen."
Yeah,
Like,
sink all the boats.
they're like, "Cruises will never be back." They were
Put them in the cave like Moana's dad.
And now, obviously, in retrospect, you could have thought
Well,
that it will come back.
that's like
and
saying,
it'll-
all Walmarts are closing.
yeah. And so you could have made it a killing by investing
Well,
into some cruise company.
I don't usually invest in stock, but those COVID months is when I invested a lot in the cruise industry.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, you're rich
and you
now.
did pretty good.
I'm not rich, but I wish
did
I
good.
bought 10 times more.
Yeah, of course.
Well, you did
Yeah.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
when you're gambling, which is playing the stock market is a little bit of gamble. Like you're not supposed to invest.
No.
You can't afford to lose everything you have. So you have
I mean,
to
they
put
were
in a
talking.
percent
I
of
mean,
the
there was
units.
one cruise line. I'm not going to mention names. Carnival, and they.
I do that with you.
They were like. They lost like $35 billion. I mean, they were like, they're still going to be paying that off for years and years.
Was that when they were just burning the gas?
Yeah, that's when.
I hated that stat. They were just like, we can't do cruises, but the boat's got to run. So
Yeah.
every day we're burning a mill.
Yeah.
And they were just out there,
just
like
out
empty
there.
ships, cruising around. Like,
Yeah.
do you imagine how weird it
Cleaning,
is?
practicing, painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Carnival has some really nice. They have some old ships they should get rid of, but they have a lot of their new fleet is really nice.
Are there any cruise ships? Sorry, I didn't mean to
that's fine.
cut you off. Are there any cruise ships that specialize in, and I know this may not be something you do, but are there any that specialize in, or that maybe you've heard in your field, of like because I've not thought about this for me, but I am fascinated by them, like the single cruises where they're tiny, where it's like you and a crew, and it's like maybe 10 people crew, and like to you and 70 people on a tiny cruise
they
ship,
have-
or
They have
like
like
a pirate.
sailboat. They have
Yeah.
like sailboat
Do you
cruises.
deal with any of that stuff?
I don't. There's some Azamara. There's some cruise lines that have very, very small ships, maybe 200 people tops.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
but those
little.
are
like
those
super
are,
elite.
Yeah, that's not my clientele.
That's
Gotcha.
that's
Yeah.
basically like yachting with groups. Like,
But you know what's funny, and I don't think you were around. You may have been around for this one, but it seems like the specialty boat being like hyper expensive. It's got 200 people on it, and it's the most expensive cruise you've ever been on because it's pure pampering, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, and I want to say the last cruise that I did for the monsters, and you may have been on this. We booked a whole boat, or maybe it was before the last one, but we had a whole boat, and it was a junker stinker.
Oh, the Minnow.
Oh, that was
you
before
called
my
the SS
time.
Minnow, remember?
It was a junk. Were you there?
That was a, yeah.
It was a junker stinker, but like what my point is that it has changed. There was a time when you could go find an old tugboat and say like, "Hey, we want to do a cruise on there." And be like, "Let's do it," and we did it, and it had like staff and everything, but everything was off.
That was
Being held together by duct tape, very scary.
That boat smelled like diesel.
We were in a storm. Do you remember the storm we were in? And we were in a tiny boat. This is the closest I've ever thought about we were going to die. I remember playing music on the boat and swaying back and forth because that's how the seas we were in. It was probably very dangerous.
What a way to die! You're playing radio goof music.
I know.
That ship is long gone.
Yeah, I'm literally doing a.
Tony,
crazy.
what? Because I know that, and I'm not sure if they've ever done this, but recently there was a story about like this. It was like a 3 to 5 year cruise. It was like they cruised around the world.
3-year cruise.
The people like would live on for 3 years, and they canceled it for you.
Yeah,
they never had a
what
boat.
was that?
They
No,
never
they
had
were
a
going to
boat.
live on it. Those are people who are going to live on it. They put a lot of money into it, and then they canceled. It was some foreign company that had a big ship, and
Wasn't there other things like that where there's like you could buy essentially your cabin, you purchase it, and then you just live there.
you know what? I keep on reading these things, but I don't see any ships doing it yet.
So
I don't know. Maybe it's just a financial thing.
I think it's more rare than you think, and from what I understand, it's where you do get some of it, or like it would make sense. Older countries with older cruise lines. So like in England or Europe, there are like old women that are like old spinsters that have billions that are living on cruise ships. I think that's a thing, but I think it's less than what you could count on one hand. And the one you're talking about, the people were getting investors to buy in. I think you had to spend like $300,000 to get in it. They thought they had a line on the boat. They were going to use all the money they got to buy the boat, but then they realized in buying the boat, I think the boat wasn't a good boat. So the problem was they didn't have a vessel.
Gotcha.
They had no vessel, and they'd sold it, so they had to cancel.
Yeah, that was just recently.
Yeah. But that does sound, I can see old Dan and old Andrea,
spending the rest of your days on a cruise.
It would be like, we jump ships. Like traveling by boat, I do enjoy it. There was a point in time when I was going to fly to England and then sail back on one of the boats coming back.
Transatlantic.
The transatlantic. I always thought that would be really interesting.
Yeah, I just saw one yesterday. It was nice. It's 21 days. It starts in Miami, and it goes to like Portugal and all these other places.
Yeah, the one we were looking at hit like Spain.
Yeah.
And then you like would weave your way up into like different areas.
What's the longest cruise you book, Tony? Like what, because I've been on a week cruise.
Like I booked 40-day cruises,
Where do they go? 40 days.
They go like all around Europe, like from the U.S. to Europe to just about every, France, Italy, Germany.
You're
like
at a port every day.
Okay.
All over the place. So
little ones too. You like pop in.
Yeah, I couldn't do. I can't
just
do
too
that.
long.
What's the longest you've been on?
What a 12 night.
I've done a 9.
Yeah,
that's a long.
12 night was,
too
and that
much.
was pushing it.
Yeah, it was too much. I was like, get me off of here, man. I was going crazy.
Yeah, and we had we did Yacht Club on MSC for an 11 night 2 months ago, and Yacht Club. So all of these cruise lines also have with a ship within a ship, meaning they have their other elite certain rooms on the ship, certain areas for those rooms, their own dining, their own bar.
Yeah,
their
we've
own,
seen this, and
so
even
you
on our
can-
cruises.
so you
Like
can
a haven? Is
like
that-
a haven or a yacht
I want
club.
this so I can stay away from all of our listeners. How do I get this? Can you build this into what they're paying when they buy a ticket so that I get a free? And then
I snuck up there once.
I just want to stay over them. And look
So much
down
for
and
this promotion, huh?
The pajama party looks like it's going fine. Maybe I'll go down and throw some glow sticks.
Yeah, I think didn't Bart do that once?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah.
Brought
Yeah.
Ross with him.
Yeah,
it was nice up there.
It was. I never got to see it. Ross denied me entrance. Get out of here.
Every time the elevator opened, Ross was standing there with a bottle of champagne.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Who wouldn't, man?
So let's take this opportunity to talk about the Tom and Dan cruise.
Yes, please.
And now Tony, you and a bunch of BDMs went on this ship. in the same location. How's the ship?
The ship is the ship. This is actually the one we went on was the seaside. The one we're going on is the seashore, which is a newer ship.
Okay, so
it's a sister ship though, so it's a layout's exactly the same.
All right,
and these are brand new, beautiful ships. I mean, it's
gigantic, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
See, I'm one of those weirdos where I spend the first day walking around with a drink, looking at all the craftsmanship and looking at the glass sculpture.
And this is, these are Italian-built ships. These are crazy, like crystal in the stairs.
Yeah,
and
I like that stuff.
All that kind of not gaudy anymore, but really stylish and modern.
I in Miami, I was talking to Pudge at the Christmas party, and Pudge and his wife are going on the Tom and Dan cruise.
Oh, that is a big sell.
Dude, that is why you've been
Pudge
keeping
on a boat?
You've been keeping that nugget from
Pudge's
us?
wife was telling me, she's like, I've never been on a cruise. What should I expect? Like how rocky is it? I'm like, you don't understand. It has like a Gaylord Palms atrium in the middle where the cabins balconies go to the middle, like you're walking through a gigantic resort.
It's a sideways
floating
building.
I mean, you know, I'm like, because she's never been on a cruise and has no idea how big these ships are.
I don't know if I'm sure it can change for people, especially if you go to different boats, but I gotta tell you, my first cruise, I don't think there's anything like it. If you've never been, the first time, especially, I'm glad I got it as a kid. I was 12. You walk onto the boat, you walk into the atrium, and you look all around. You're like, "This is really cool."
It's amazing how big the ship is.
So you asked me one of my favorite things, and that's exactly it. It's going on with a group of a bunch of people who have never been on a cruise before, and just watching their reaction. The venues and you mean I can come back and have more food here? I said, yes, it's a buffet. You can
unlimited.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then the bars and all that. And then, on the one we're going, our drink package works on the island.
Okay,
so which is to me that's a big
a plus.
The private island, Coco Cay.
No, it's not Coco Cay. It's Ocean Cay.
Ocean Cay. All right. I knew it was some
Coco Cay's Royal.
If
you went to Coco Cay, you wouldn't be getting drinks, or you'd be having to pay for them.
You'd be attacked by seagulls, and you watch a Middle Eastern family try to hit them with their hats.
And so, and then like we're doing some private parties on the boat, doing a live podcast, and like, what are some other things on this particular boat that stood out to you, Tony?
Well, I know you'll like the casino a lot.
Oh yeah. It
looks nice.
To be able to gamble whenever you want is really a luxury that we've never experienced here in Florida. Like we don't, we have to drive to Tampa.
I'm honestly surprised we're not surrounded by casinos.
And then I like being in the casino in the morning because everybody that walks by, they're like, that guy is
you stand there and you go back. He's right. You go back there and you hold your coffee, and then you're going to the breakfast buffet. You're not necessarily playing cards. If they're open, you might. But as they walk by, you're always like, "How'd you do last night?" You got the voice because
you're still there from last night.
Yeah. I also like being blacked out drunk with Sam smoking cigarettes in the casino.
I like texting Tom that I'm puking in the trash can in my room from the floor. That was a bad one.
So
I mean, there's also like a lot of shows, and the shows are great on MSC. I enjoy them a lot. They're different. That's all I could say. I don't want to give anything away. Because they're very different.
Well, Tony does a great job. And like when you go on the Tom and Dan cruise, and most of the people that have already booked have been on Tom and Dan cruises, so you know what to expect. But Tony and Deb do an unbelievable job organizing everything, and it always like goes off.
It's the only
without a problem
thing that's not disorganized like Tom and Dan.
No, I know.
Can I say that? That should be a selling point too, Sam. Write that down. It's the only thing that's not organized by us goes off without a hit.
Tony, it's a testament to how good of a job you do, and the fact that we've never had a huge problem on any of our cruises. Like we've never had I showed up and there's nobody here, or
Deb will kick their ass.
Or the sound sucks, or nothing like any of the other.
There it goes, Tom.
Deb will kick their ass.
Well, we did have but that was Dan Cummins' fault because everywhere we go with him, there's a sound problem.
Basically, we're done with that guy.
He's cursed.
Yeah, he is cursed.
He was actually fine on the cruise. On the cruise cast that he was on.
On the cruise cruise cups, but then
Because Tony was there.
Yeah,
to
no,
keep
we were
it
doing
going.
karaoke. The whole thing.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's right.
Yeah,
Karaoke
that was the
and
curse.
Tom leans over to me and goes, "It's Dan."
yeah. We were like, this never happened before
Yeah, you're
or
right.
after.
I forgot.
Yeah. So
And we never did it
So,
again.
some of the things I like about MSC in particular is they are the new guy and they're trying harder, so they give you a better value than compared to everybody else, which is
like
is
an
important.
ugly
to us.
girlfriend.
yeah, they work harder.
Come on,
yeah.
sit on it.
That's right.
Yeah, the big ones suck it better. I would get to that.
God damn.
That's a great. Oh my God, he gave me Christmas present early. I've never been happier in my life. That's the guy I know. There he is. He's in there. Hello, Tom. It's Dan. It's Dan.
Oh, got it.
Oh,
I'm back to being
grumpy.
Where is this airing?
disgusted.
I just squirted tears out of my eyes.
No.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Tony.
How's your poolside cabana going, Tony? We've been, how's the bar?
We want to get you something for your cabana. What do you need?
Yeah.
Oh,
Your
no, I'm
tiki
good.
bar.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
tiki
tiki
bar,
bar in the
yeah, yeah.
backyard. It's
Yeah.
great.
What do
Yeah.
you need? What do you need?
No,
for
no,
it?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm
And
good.
how's your puppy doing?
Oh my God! Somehow his name is Frank.
Frank the puppy.
Somehow he ate a 4x4-inch square out of the wood in my wall.
Frank.
I love Frank.
I'm like, there is hardly any prep to fix that. It is almost an exact square.
Yeah, maybe he's a carpenter.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What smart guy.
He's crazy. I love him.
So
That's
again,
awesome.
if you want to book the Tom and Dan cruise, it's tomanddancruise2024.com.
Please do, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're gonna have so much fun.
And we're bringing our families. I'm bringing my whole family. It's
Or
gonna be awesome.
if you want to book a cruise in general, ahoycruises.com.
Please.
You can contact Tony and Deb. And they'll take care of you.
TomandDan.com. There's a link to Ahoy. Just click it.
Yeah, just go to my Facebook page. That's where I post all
Yeah.
the deals. Tony
And
Palmiotti.
he and Deb will get back to you, guaranteed.
Yeah. We, like I said, we got a lot of BDMs that are booked over the years, and Debbie and I really appreciate all the business, the show, and all the BDMs have gotten us over the years.
That's awesome, man.
We wouldn't be where we were without you guys.
Well, we
so.
love you, dude, and we're glad that the cruise thing, because I think a lot of people have noticed that Tony, with working with us, has stepped a little bit back,
Yeah.
so
Because
he
it's
can
blown
concentrate
up,
on
yeah.
his cruise.
Although I really like the way the pins came out.
Depends. Well,
Yeah.
we're still
I
working
love
with you, man.
Hollow box.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.